A servant is drawn unto me in prayer until I answer him. And when I have answered him, I become the ear wherewith he heareth. For thus the master of the house hath appeared within his home, and all the pillars of the dwelling are ashine with his light. And the action and effect of the light are from the light giver, so that it is all moved through him and arise by his will. Baha'u'llah. Regard man as a mine rich in gems of inestimable value. Education can alone cause it to reveal its treasures and enable mankind to benefit therefrom. Baha'u'llah. The power of God can entirely transmute our characters and make of us beings entirely unlike our previous selves. Through ever-increasing service to his faith, we can change ourselves. Shoghi Effendi.
So today, we're really happy to have Ms. Sima Ghodrati, and her topic is Nurturing the Future, Empowering Hearts in Raising the Next Generation. Born in Iran, I was forced to escape the country as a youth after facing religious persecution for being part of the Baha'i community, Iran's largest religious minority. My experience as a refugee fleeing my own country in 1986 has formed my approach to life, work, and community engagement. Upon my arrival in the spring of 1987, I began my journey in Canada by attending College of Fashion Design. Combining a diverse educational background, I ventured into psychology at Toronto Metropolitan University, formerly Ryerson, in 1993. Following that, I pursued a combined program of applied science degree and a dental hygienist diploma at SUNY Onondaga College in Syracuse, New York, graduating in 2001. My thirst for knowledge and the innate love of humanity persisted, leading me to the University of Toronto in 2017, where I delved into life coaching integrated with the foundation of applied mindfulness meditation. This journey led me to inner peace therapy, pioneered by Keyhan Ighanian in Norway. Engaged and captivated by his method, I organized a comprehensive 4-day seminar and diligently attended all associated courses and workshops. For more than 6 years, I had the humbling opportunity to serve as a life coach at a local school, collaborating closely with children, parents, and educators. Together, we developed Mind Rich in Gems, a program blending inner peace therapy with the teachings of Baha'u'llah, involving the entire school community. Currently, I practice as a life coach, utilizing inner peace therapy techniques in the hope of supporting individuals in their noble journey toward personal transformation. My view of life is that everything has been created to undergo a noble transformation, and I hold firm to the belief that nothing is impossible when one embraces the art of learning and discovers the power of love. So with that, I will hand it off to Ms. Ghodrati.
Well, hello, dear friends. Thank you so much for Aminajun and Paymanajun to have me for today. And I will extend my thanks to all of you for taking your time and being here with us. And my hope is the few points that I've learned in my life will be worth of your reflection. And hopefully one day you will give this talk, and I eagerly anticipate to listen to it. To say this, I'm going to start to share one of the writings of Baha'u'llah with you. But before I do that, I would like to give my understanding of the Baha'i faith. To understand the history of the Baha'i faith, it's very easy. We can all, with just a touch of a button, we can understand and learn about the history part of the Baha'i faith. What I would like to share with you is it's a deeper view of the Baha'i faith. I'd like to share with you, and I see Baha'i faith as a provider of the holistic educational system. And to me, Baha'i faith is a gateway to understand true self, true love, and true freedom. So by saying this, I would like to share one of the writings of Baha'u'llah. For those who haven't heard about Baha'u'llah, Baha'u'llah is a founder of the Baha'i faith. And he wrote in one of his tablets known as Tablet of Tarazat, Effulgence, the first taraz: man should know his own self and recognize that which leadeth unto loveliness or lowliness, glory or abasement, wealth or poverty. So if you take a look at this beautiful writings, here he's explaining two types of self. The one that is can be in high and known as recognizing, which leaded him to loftiness. But at the same time, he also refers to a self that it becomes lower and reaches the point of poverty. So let us look at another writings of Abdul Baha, which is the son of Baha'u'llah. And to all the Baha'is, he's known as the center of covenant. I will share another station, excuse me, over here. Abdul Baha says, when one is released from the prison of self, that is indeed freedom. For self is the greater prison. So if one of these self, it puts me in jail, and the other one makes me free, what is that I need to learn in this world? What am I here? Like, what's the purpose of my creation? Is it me that I come to this world and not understanding my true self? And how would I actually understand my true self? This is the question. So in order to understand that, let me just stop this for a second. Sorry. When we look at the self itself, let's look at the property of our mind. What does the mind do? Mind in this world came to this world to analyze, compare, compete, expect, and compares things. This is the property of the mind. And let's look at together at the property of the heart. What's the property of the heart? Heart is created noble, right? As Baha'u'llah mentioned that in some of his hidden words. So by saying that if the mind is constantly comparing, competing, analyzing, and all doing these things, how would I create my personality? How would I learn to understand one true self? As Abdul Baha says, the self itself becomes a prison, right? So how would I get to know myself if I don't understand the property of the heart? So I'm going to share another picture with you. Excuse me just 1 second. Take a look at this. When a child is born in this world, she or he has 5 external senses. As you can see over here, we have sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. All this information comes from outside world. When she was developed in the mother's womb, she had all these beautiful organs, but they are supposed to serve her. Every organ was created in the mother's womb. It's there for a reason. It's there to serve this beautiful child. So when she comes in this world, her legs, her body, her heart, all the things that she has is serving that child to grow and develop and appear in the utmost beauty. So as her 5 senses, she has sight, she sees things, she smells things, she tastes things, she touches things, and she hears things. But the information comes from external world are not her own information, It's not the knowledge that she wants to have. It's the knowledge that is already it's ready for her. So in her environment, environment, it's actually programming her. So whatever she sees, whatever she smells, whatever she touches, these are the things that other people, the environment, is telling her what it is. So in inner peace, we call this a test program. So let's say she hears a negative thought. That negative thought that enters the mind of this child right away awakens some feelings in her. And a scientific approach of this is lots of scientists today explain the actual self. It's the interaction between thoughts and feeling and environment and her behavior and the behavior of the person. So if you look at this, so all these thoughts come to the mind, And the child, if doesn't understand them, there is anger, there's guilt, there's shame, there's sadness, there's fear. She is born with all these feelings, but these thoughts triggers these feelings because these thoughts, what they do to the brain, they produce hormones, and these hormonal production awakens these feelings within the child. But that child does not understand any of these feelings because it's not, the mind hasn't developed it. Hasn't reached that capacity yet. So the anger, the guilt, the shame, trying to explain who she is. She hears a thought, there's a thought comes and she hears that, and then she gets angry and she doesn't know what to do. And the hormones production increases by a minute. And this child, her thoughts and her feelings becomes a belief that this is who I am. This is the beginning of something called attitude. Attitude develops this way. When the thought comes and a feeling arises, when these two clashes, when these two come together, and instead of being united, the child doesn't understand the feeling, so therefore it develops an attitude that this is what it is. When you put few attitudes next to each other, it forms a belief. And then 5 or 6 or 10 of these beliefs come together, and that forms a perception. So as the child grows older, and just share another picture with you here. Sorry. Let's go here. When the child grows older, and all her thoughts and feelings are constantly fighting. So this chemical produced by brain, what does it do to the child? It creates 3 fake personality. Take a look at around you. Take a look at all the books, all the movies we watch, all the books we read, everyone in the world. Are they playing a victim or a villain or a hero? Everyone wants to save someone. Everyone feels that that person is a victim and something has happened to them. Or I'm sure all of us have felt in our lives that someone did something to me. They hurt my feelings, or they broke my heart, or someone felt that, you are a villain, you were mean to somebody, or we all trying to save someone in our lives. But this is not only exists in the external world. The worst part is it actually exists in the internal world. What happens to us, all of us, is as a child, when these thoughts comes from the world outside and they're telling me I am this, I'm that, when all these thoughts enters my world, my inner world shatters. And I become a victim to my own self because I do not understand my true reality, which is the power of that beautiful heart and the soul that is embedded in me. I am created with that beautiful soul. But because I don't understand my feelings and the outside, the society, there's no society in the world, friends, that can claim it's the perfect society. No society will produce the wonderful children because every society that you look, it's stuck in these personalities, these 3 personalities. So when we have this view of our lives, when adults, when mature people around children have this view, either they're victim, villain, or hero, what are the thoughts that gets into the child? It's actually it allows the child to close the door or a gate of the heart. The power of the soul cannot manifest. And that this fake personality, what they do is they create the whole world, it divides in 3 concerns. Either our environment becomes our main concerns, or our body, or time. We can't, it's sort of our true self, it gets present, and then our mind starts ruling our heart. Our mind is created to serve the heart. as I was saying before, our mind has these capacities of analyzing, comparing, competing, expecting. These are beautiful property of the mind, which is supposed to serve the heart, which is supposed to be at the presence of the soul. But because there's no society that believes in the soul, no society that actually empowers the beautiful heart of the child. So mind start ruling, and mind start making those realities as real, as a truth. And the child entrapped in that reality creates this personality, and it feels that she's trapped. It feels that she's trapped in this hormonal vicious cycle. But let's look at what Baha'u'llah says in one of his beautiful, oh, I think sorry. Look at this one. Baha'u'llah, in one of his hidden words, says, O son of spirit, I created thee rich. Why dost thou bring thyself down to poverty? Noble I made thee. Wherewith dost thou abase thyself? Out of the essence of knowledge I gave thee being. Why seekest thou enlightenment from anyone beside me? Out of the clay of love I molded thee. How dost thou busy thyself with another? Turn thy sight unto thyself, that thou mayst find me standing within thee, mighty, powerful, and self-subsisting. So if I am created rich, how would I bring myself down to poverty? This is a mind without the power of the soul. My mind, which is constantly comparing, competing, expecting, analyzing, there is a distance between the mind and a heart. And because the power of the heart has not been discovered, so the mind wants to survive in this world. Mind constantly wants to find, as I said before, the three concerns of as a human being becomes environment, body, and time. So if my mind is constantly circling in that, my concerns are those things. So I want to find the rich outside of my inner world. I want to become the richest person in the world, and I want to do anything. I want to compete with everyone, and I want to be the most knowledgeable person on earth. I want to. That's what becomes my goal. And then Baha'u'llah says, "Noble I made thee." What is the power of the nobility? When I'm noble, I know that I'm created beautiful with all the beautiful qualities I made as the image of God. I have all his qualities within me. But when I don't understand that, when I don't reach to my heart, when I don't know I have a soul, when my soul is absent, I abase myself. I feel that I am nobody. I lose my integrity. And he goes further, he says, out of the essence of knowledge I gave thee being. If the only knowledge that is a true knowledge is a knowledge of God, friends. It's a divine knowledge. So if I'm missing that knowledge and I'm seeking other knowledge, I am connecting to other people's mind and writings, and I constantly want to climb the highest mountain, or swim the deepest ocean and walk to the other part of the world to find the true self. But that knowledge is within me. It's very close, and it's in my heart. And that's the first gift Baha'u'llah has given me, that beautiful soul that has the essence of knowledge. And out of the clay of love, I molded thee. We're all molded, made out of his love. But where do we seek love? If I don't fall in love, my inner child, in inner peace, what we do is we create three unity. The first unity we create is it's between the thoughts and feelings. When this unity occur, when our thoughts and feeling becomes one, Everyone reaches that enlightenment within 20 minutes. It's so easy. They see they have thoughts, but they're not their thoughts. They actually witness that they have feelings, but they're not their feelings. And their true love that they fall in love with is nothing but their own soul. They meet the inner child in the beautiful heart, and they see that they're created out of the clay of love. When you meet them, when all of us meet that inner child, when we get to know that inner child, we directly connected to God, because that child is nothing but the ray of God. And ray is directly connected to the sun. And we can gain the knowledge through the source, through the actual source, not through the eyes of others, as Baha'u'llah says in another hidden words. He says, and he goes, I made you out of the clay of love, I molded thee. How dost thou busy thyself with another? Think about again what I just mentioned. When I use the power of my own mind, and I don't understand the power of my heart and my soul, I try to find love outside of my heart. Everything else become my love. My children, my home, my education, my environment, places that I see. I will replace that through, I have to, mind has to copy the heart. So therefore, mind will seek to make up something as love. But we know that's not a true love, because it's just mind, it's not connected to the heart. So there has to, something else has to become our love. And then further Baha'u'llah says, turn thy sight unto thyself, that thou mayst find me standing within thee, mighty, powerful, and self-subsisting. Friends, when we actually see that beautiful inner child, we see that child, that beautiful soul, that it's the first gift of God to humanity. We fall in love with our own soul. And when you close your eyes and you see that beautiful light in yourself, that light is nothing but the child of God, which is connected directly. When you get connected to your own soul, we all be connected directly to him. We will see him standing mighty and powerful in all of us. But no society, there is no such a perfect society in the world that come and tell us about our soul. Majority of people in the world, that they do believe that they're a spiritual being. Majority of people, you could look around you, everyone you talk, we all believe that we're a spiritual being, we're non-material being. But that believing that we are a spiritual being, but not being able to find the truth wherever we go, wherever we seek, they don't have the knowledge. They can't help us to understand ourselves. What does that do to the child? The child will be raised with those personality I told you, those fake personality made up by mind. Either she decides to become a victim or a hero or a villain. At Inner Peace, what we do is, friends, after this unity, when we unite the heart and the right and left hemisphere of the brain, when these two become intertwined, they become one. And when people see their true reality, that who they are, they believe that they're nothing but the beautiful light. What is Baha'i? Baha'i means follower of light. What is Baha'u'llah? Glory of God. It's light. It's a light of God. God, for the first time in the history of religion, manifested its light in the world. So in order for me to understand who I am, if I don't get to know my own soul, how can I get connected to the source? My mind starts making up all the stories that who I am. And the first thing it does, it creates a personality. So the third unity that happens in Inner Peace is, so after uniting the right and the left hemisphere of the brain and meeting the inner child and falling in love with our true self, there's something else has to happen, that I will be free from all sort of prejudice, free from all the information has been giving me. What are the information in the world? It's thousands, 2,000 years old. So how would I free myself from all this old information? How would I understand that I am created noble and I am new? And every minute of every time I think about my the source of information is from the past. My parents had told me, or someone else has brought this information to me. But how would we get to know ourselves and find the true information? The new information is when we what's the first principle of the Baha'i faith? It says independent investigation of the truth. And that independent investigation of the truth must be every minute, every day of our lives. It's not that once I'm going to investigate and I'm done with it. No, I will, Sima, think about where are my information coming from? As Baha'u'llah mentioned, that we need to get rid of all the information has given to us. Throw everything out. He said that right in the book of Iran, the book of certitude, in the beginning of the truth, the tablet of seeker, everything we learn, everything we love and we don't love, we hate everything. We need to put it on the side. When we reach the maturity age of 15 or 16, how do I do that? How do I get rid of everything we learn? Again, in inner peace therapy, what we do is, the last thing we do is we meet the inner parent. All of us have something, we have a parent in us that it tells us what we do and how we do things, constantly criticizing ourselves, constantly trying to compare ourselves. But when we actually, in 3 sessions, will look at the pictures that we had, like all the memories that we have in our childhood, it happens in 3 sessions. The first session, it's called confrontation. Those pictures that it's in the mind of the child, 15 and older, we look at those pictures and we get rid of them. The second session is rebellion, because what happened is, if we see things outside, we create an image of what we see, we bring that image inside, and we connect it to the feelings that we never understood. Feeling of guilt, feeling of shame, feeling of fear, feeling of anger, all these feelings that we're born with. So the image of the parent comes in, gets intertwined, connected to the feeling that we never understood. Therefore, the parent outside becomes a devil inside. So we need to get rid of that image that we made in our heart, because that's not true. As Baha'u'llah says, this world is nothing but delusion. So we need to make sure those pictures all cleared. When those pictures are cleared and everything is it's in that path, the journey is going towards the true freedom, the inner parent will awaken. All those beautiful qualities that you are seeking, that your external mother, or the mother that you see outside, or the father you see outside, or your caregiver to have, it will be with you. It's in you. That inner parent will awaken, and it will be there for you because it's connected directly to Baha'u'llah. And anything that we all want and seek will come from that source. The outside no longer be a problem for all of us. It would be all, so everything has to happen within oneself, not outside. The world outside, we all know Baha'u'llah has said that it's nothing but the illusion. But what's inside is real. What I feel, what I see, what I think, it's all real. But if I don't bring unity in my own mind and my own heart, how can I bring unity outside? If I don't understand my own soul, if I don't understand how I can connect my soul to the source, which is Baha'u'llah, how would I learn to bring peace with others? That's why it's so important today, and all these messages comes from Universal House of Justice, that it's so important to build a community. We don't have a proper community. We don't have a perfect community. that will actually enlighten the heart of the child, that will say, oh, yes, it will be forgiving, loving, compassionate, understanding. It will sort of reflect the light of God to the child. No, we all have those three fake personalities that constantly trying to survive in this world. That's why it's so important, all of us, to reflect every morning and at night to who I am. This reflection is like a nurturing that beautiful soul. That soul, it's in this world to be nurtured through the writings every morning at night. And when it's nurtured through those beautiful writings, it will be enlightened. It will give the light to the world because it only sees the light. Because it turns to a beautiful mirror that not only reflects the light, only sees the light. In one of messages from Universal House of Justice, let me just share this with you, friends. It was a Rizwan message 2000 that the Universal House of Justice wrote to the world. Children are the most precious treasure a community can possess, for in them are the promise and guarantee of the future. They were the seeds of the character of future society, which is largely shaped by what the adults constituting the community do or fail to do with respect to children. They are a trust no community can neglect with impunity. An all-embracing love of children, the manner of treating them, the quality of attention shown them, the spirit of adult behavior toward them. These are all among the vital aspects of the requisite attitude. Universal House of Justice, Rizwan Message, 2000. For the friends who don't know about the Universal House of Justice, is the governing, supreme governing institutions of the Baha'i faith, which was established by Baha'u'llah. And it guides the Baha'i community and promotes unity and providing guidance, spiritual and social matters. Friends, when we read this, Universal House of Justice very clearly tell us that this most precious treasure, if the children are the most precious treasure in the community, where is this treasure? Where is hiding? Where is it? Why we have not found this treasure? This treasure is nothing but their beautiful soul. Beautiful soul that is created by God's image. And they have the promise and guarantee of the future. Going back again to the hidden word number 13, that Baha'u'llah says, I give you the essence, you're made of the essence of knowledge. So if this child has the essence of knowledge, so they are the promise and guarantee of the future. They bear the seeds of character future. They have everything, it's in us. We don't have to seek outside. All we have to do, just look in and get to know our heart, our own soul. Because that soul needs to be nurtured little by little, day by day. Otherwise, our mind becomes the ruler of the world. And if the mind is cut off of the power of the heart, it's nothing but the artificial intelligence. For us to get to know ourselves, to be able to enlighten the heart of the child and the next generation, what we can do today is read the messages of the Universal House of Justice, being partake of all those 4 activities that the Universal House of Justice for the last 25 years are telling us. Making sure every child we know in every neighborhood attend the children class. Any junior youth we know attend the junior youth program. Any adult that you encounter and you talk to, share about beautiful quotations that are in the Ruhi books. Invite them to your study circles. Have a devotional, because those are the only way we can enlighten the beautiful heart of the next generation. Thank you so much for listening. And I was wondering if, dear Armin Jun, if you can share that beautiful video.
Our world is in crisis.
Even beyond the current pandemic, we see problems all around us.
Injustice, poverty, racism,
disparity between the rich and poor, environmental degradation,
lack of gender equality, hunger for political power,
lack of food security, excessive materialism, religious hostility, and so much more.
We know Baha'u'llah's teachings are the only solution to these problems.
but how can we apply these teachings in real life? Who will do this?
The Universal House of Justice, in its December 30th message, has put this responsibility on the enkindled soul.
But who are these enkindled souls?
They are people committed to the prosperity of all.
They are loyal citizens who eschew partisanship.
They promote consultation in decision-making.
They emphasize qualities such as trustworthiness and cooperation.
They champion rationality in science.
They advocate tolerance and understanding and view everyone as a collaborator.
They foster peace amongst hostile groups.
They are conscious of the forces of materialism.
And their eyes are open to the injustices of the world.
They believe in the power of unity.
They see how true religion can transform hearts.
They work hard towards progress.
They share their own beliefs while respecting the freedom of conscience of others.
They don't impose their standards on others.
They don't pretend to know all the answers.
They know what they have learned and still need to learn.
Their efforts advance because of action and reflection.
Setbacks don't faze them.
As we count down to a Yamiha, let's learn about these qualities and ask ourselves, how can I become that enkindled soul?
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 To become that enkindled soul, what I'm going to ask you, friends, I'm going to ask all of you to close your eyes. And when I read this hidden words of Baha'u'llah, when you hear the word justice, please replace your own name. When you hear the word justice, replace it with your own name. O Son of Spirit, the best beloved of all things in my sight is justice. Turn not away therefrom if thou desirest me. And neglect it not that I may confide in thee. By its aid thou shalt see with thy own eyes, and not through the eyes of others, and shall know of thy own knowledge, and not through the knowledge of thy neighbor. Ponder this in thy heart, how it behoveth thee to be. Verily, justice is my gift to thee, and the sign of my loving kindness. Set it then before thine eyes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So if people have questions now, you can put it in the chat. The first question is this inward gaze related to the quote about closer than your life's vein in relation to the hidden word, O Son of Spirit?
Yes, absolutely. That's how I see it too. Very much related the same.
The next question is, are there any materials that you recommend for youth with peace therapy approach?
Inner peace, how old, like 15 and older? If we're looking 15 and older, the inner peace therapy, it's so beautiful and it's so easy. It's something that within 20 minutes anyone can overcome their issues, the issues that they've carried for 20 years. And I have many clients that they've seen so many therapists because they get them stuck. And in inner peace therapy, we don't talk. It's all by action, because people are tired of hearing. It's all like people talk for 10, 15 minutes, and then we start creating those unities that I was mentioning. And for youth, the material, I think the best material is if this youth is stuck in the mind, making sure that that beautiful youth will understand that she or he has thoughts and feelings, but she's not her thoughts or feelings. They're just, our thoughts and feelings are there just to serve us. They're not there to rule us. By witnessing their own thoughts, by witnessing, but understanding the feelings and allowing to find their feelings. And what I can do is, if you wish, you can give me a call. I can talk to that youth, or I can have a session with mom and a child. We can sit down and I can explain a few things that if that works. But to actually have materials, you can go on a website, on the Inner Peace website, that I can share that with Payman June, that you can go on a website with Dr. Ighanian, Mr. Ighanian, Keyhan Ighanian's website.
Great. Yeah, you afterwards you can share it with us. We'll again put it in the description box. Could you summarize the 3 related to thought and unity, right and left brain?
Sure. So to summarize, as I was mentioning, there's 3 unities that has to happen within one person, within ourselves. The first unity is unity of thoughts and feelings. So right and the left hemisphere of the brain. When these two are in fight with each other, or in like their interaction together, we call that ego. So if someone says something and you feel that your heart is broken, I'm sorry to say that, it's not, your heart is not broken, it's your ego is broken. What that means, because that person awakens the feeling with us. So what we do, the first thing we do, we unite the right and the left hemisphere of the brain by witnessing our thoughts and understanding our feelings. When this happens, when we see the light, which is, it's called enlightenment, and a lot of people go to different mountains and caves to reach that enlightenment for months and years, we do it in 20 minutes. When that happens, we'll take that beautiful light to meet the inner child, which is going inside and looking at your own heart, find a beautiful soul. So the second unity is uniting the mind and the inner child and the soul together. So that happens when the mind gives up its power. It has to give us a power so the heart becomes the queen of your castle. No one should be as important as you are within you. No one. There's an inner peace. When you look at your heart, you are the queen of your own castle. There's no father, no mother, nothing that you love is in your heart except that soul. And that soul is directly connected to the creator, which is Baha'u'llah. So when you see the light in the mind, will take you to the heart and you meet the inner child, this is when you fall in love with your own soul. That's the most beautiful, that's a true love. Nothing is more important than that beautiful soul. When that happens, that child needs to meet the inner parent. And the last unity is visiting this child, visit the inner parent. When this happens in 3 stages, as I was saying, confrontation, rebellion, and reconciliation, when this happens, every one of us will be so free. We can have all kind of feelings we want. We can be feeling guilty, feeling shame, feeling angry. All those beautiful feelings are mine. And they're there to serve me, not to serve others, not that other people abuse, other people control my guilt, other people control my anger. That's why I prison myself. I go in a prison of self, that Abdul Baha was telling us. But when the last unity happens and the cure, when meet the inner parent, and all those stages gone through, when we go through all these 3 stages, we become absolutely free. And that's where we become, it's that true love, true self, and true freedom helps me to understand who I am through the writings of Baha'i faith. I become my true self.
Thank you. Someone said, is this related to meditation?
Well, the thing is, there's 2 kinds of meditation. One meditation, it helps us to get to know ourselves, which is again through the mind. Breathing in, breathing out, following your breath. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. But meditation, and it goes further to get to know myself, and exactly what Baha'u'llah says, to know thee and to worship thee. I want to meditate, getting to know myself through God. Like, I want to know who I am. Yes, it is kind of a meditation, but you will follow my voice. And it's either processes that we'll go through. There's some tapping involved. There are some rolling your eyes, and there are a few things involved that helps the person to get rid of all those feelings that are stuck between the mind and heart. Because there is a barrier, right? We're stuck to those feelings, and we can't see our true self.
Okay, well, it looks like that's all of our questions. So thank you so much for your talk. This was really
Good.
amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, friends. Love. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. So our speaker next week will be Parisa Fitz-Henley, and she'll be talking about Mirrors of the Creator, our relationship with creativity. So again, these talks are every Saturday at noon Eastern time. And it would really help us out if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, because it recommends our videos to more people and helps our channel grow. So I've put the link to that in the chat. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Bye.